What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Mike here from ONTGames, and today we're starting our very first franchise mode in NHL 18. That's right. I cannot wait to get started. And as you can see right here, and from the title of this video, we are using the Vegas Golden Knights. I feel like you got to use the Golden Knights, at least to start off this season. So, yeah, we're going to be using them. I don't have high expectations. Obviously, we're an expansion team, so we're just going to do the best we can. We're not going to intentionally tank this year. We're just going to see what we can do. If we make the playoffs, we make the playoffs. If we don't, we don't. I wouldn't mind missing the playoffs because there's some pretty good prospects in this year's draft. And also, new to this year is you can actually find late round steals. So, I'm really looking forward to that. So, let's hop into it. So, for this year, I wanted to turn a few things off. I wanted to turn off owner mode. And the reason for that is because I really couldn't care less about our budgets or the revenue or, you know, the hot dog prices. I really couldn't care less. So, we're going to keep that off for this timeout. We're going to keep player morale on, but we're going to turn morale meetings off, and they just slow down the simulation, so, and I don't really care about them, and I feel like you can say the right thing and you'd still be wrong, so, you know, we're going to keep that off, and we're also going to turn off assistant coach edit lines as well. Alright, so we're here, and I want to do one thing before we get started, because I know he's going to come bother me, so we're going to go send the scout out on an assignment, and we're going to send him out to Sweden, and we're going to send him to scout the defenseman. Of course, Rasmus Dahlin is supposed to be going first overall in this year's draft. So, again, I don't know how we're going to be doing this year, but I just want to see how he progresses, and you know what? Maybe we can land him. You never really know, so I'm going to send our scout out there. Alright, so here's what the lines are looking like. Obviously, it's not great. I did some moves off camera, and obviously that's going to create an issue. Let me just fix that issue a bit. Okay, there we go. So, the issue that we have is we don't have enough forwards. We had David Clarkson up here, but I don't want to play him because he's not valuable to this team whatsoever. And I just want to forget that he's in this organization because of his contract. So we're going to keep him down in the AHL for now. As you notice, we have a forward up on, or rather we have a defenseman up on forward. That's not going to fly, so we're going to have to go sign a forward. And I have somebody in mind. I think you might know who I want to sign. Maybe. Well, I'll show you who I want to sign afterwards. But pretty much we have a bit of a problem on the back end. We have 8 defensemen up on the team right now. So we have these 6. We have Shea Theodore down right here, and we have Colin Miller as a scratch. I don't mind having Miller as the scratch. I feel like I'm just going to leave him as the 7th defenseman and slot him in when we have an injury on the back end or whatever. Maybe someone's not playing well, we can slot him in, but for now he's going to stay as a healthy scratch. What we're going to have to do is we're going to have to trade one of these defensemen. Of course, it's not going to be Shea Theodore. So we're going to have to trade one of these 6. And I want to keep Miller, so we're going to trade one of these 6. The guys I don't want to move, first and foremost, are John Merrill, Braden McNabb, and possibly Nate Schmidt. I don't know, I heard some pretty good things about him, like in real life, but I don't know. It's a video game, so obviously it's a lot different. So I don't know if anyone's going to... Well, somebody might take that deal. We'll see. But for now, I'm probably going to trade either Derek Englund or Lucas Sabiza. We're going to keep Jason Garrison for the time being. He's only got 1 year left, and he's probably our best defenseman aside from John Merrill. So we're going to trade either Sabiza or Englund. And the reason that these two guys are here, well, first and foremost, Englund's only 78 overall. It's not going to help, but he does have a very small cap hit of only 1 mil, as opposed to Sabiza's 3.6. Now, I know they only have 1 year left on their deals, respectively, but the one thing with Sabiza, I know he's a better overall, and he's younger, but the thing is that he's a left-handed defensive defenseman. We have John Merrill and Nate. Well, okay. Well, we have one of those, so we can move that. Oh, and we have Jason Garrison. So we have 2 left-handed defensive defensemen. So that kind of makes Sabiza expendable. He's the worst out of the 3. So we're gonna move him. I think we're just gonna trade him for a pick or something. I'm not looking to get anything back. I mean, we'll see what teams might have, and maybe we can bring it back something. But for now, we're just gonna trade Lucas Sabiza for a pick at this moment. And with that, we're also going to go sign a forward. I'm going to show you guys who we're going to sign, and I think you're going to be very happy with who we're going to be bringing into this team.
We're in the Stanley Cup final for the 2nd year in a row, and here's Yager with the puck. Yager, nice move around Brent Sutter to the backhand. Lets it go, he scores!
And there he is. That's who we're bringing in. The ageless wonder, Jaromir Jagr. That is right. So, he only wants 2.675 for 1 year. I was only going to give him a 1 year deal. But I might increase that salary a bit just to make sure we get him. So I'm going to bring that up to about 3 mil. Hopefully that gets, you know what, 3.25. I know it's a lot to ask, or a lot to give, rather, but we have a lot of cap space, so I don't mind giving him a bit more. So we're going to sim ahead a few days, see if we get Yager, and we're going to hold off on trading Sabiza until we make sure we get Yager on the team, so we can do like one big roster move. But yeah, let's sim ahead a few days and see if we get Yager on this team. So I just wanted to show this. It really has no impact whatsoever. It's a 53 overall defenseman, but I went out and signed Yaroslav Mrazek just to a 1-year, 2-way deal. And the reason I signed him, I know you're wondering, like, why are you even showing this? But a little known fact about me, when I was younger, my parents and I used to be a billet family. So I live here in Toronto. And we used to have an OHL team here in Toronto called the Toronto St. Michael's Majors. They since moved to the Mississauga. They became the Mississauga St. Michael's Majors. And I believe now they have new ownership. And now they're the Mississauga Steelheads. So there you go. When they were in Toronto, my parents and I was very young when this was going on, but we used to be a billet family. And basically, when these kids are coming to play in Toronto, not all of them are from Toronto, especially not Yaroslav Mrazek, who's from the Czech Republic. And, you know, they need a place to stay. So we were what's known as a billet family. So we actually had junior hockey players living at our house, which was awesome for me because I grew up with no brothers and no sisters. So it was cool to kind of have an older sibling. And we all loved hockey. I played hockey growing up, and he did as well, obviously, so that's pretty cool. So it was awesome to kind of be there, and the Toronto St. Michael's Majors were a big part of my childhood. So I went and signed Jerry. That's what we know him as, Jerry, because, yeah, why not? So he's on the team. Thought I'd mention that little story. There you go. But this is the one we were all wondering. Yes, Yager's on the team, so I'm very happy for that. So let's slot him into the lineup and see where he fits. So I just did the best lines, and Yager is on the first line, which I like. So I think we're just going to keep him up there. And I think we're just going to keep the forward lines the same. Of course, let me know if there's any changes I should make, but I don't really have any expectations for this year. It's really just going to be about going out there and seeing what happens. If we make the playoffs, like I mentioned, we do. If we don't, we don't. It is what it is, so we're just going to keep them the way they are. So yeah, let's go make that move on defense. We're going to trade Sabisa. I'm going to go look and see what we can get. So I was looking around, and I found this trade, and I feel like this could really help us out, but let me explain. So we do get rid of Sabisa. 1 year, 3.6 mil. Not that that's really an issue, but we get rid of that defenseman, clear up that spot for Shea Theodore, and we're sending him to Colorado, who of course needs defensemen. They're not a great team, and we get a 3rd-round pick back for this year. Now, obviously, if you paid attention to the NHL last year, Colorado was the worst team by far. It was horrible. It was really bad, and I'm sure they're not going to be a great team this year in real life and in this game. So, getting a 3rd-round pick from them this year could be good. And as I mentioned before, you can get those late-round picks. Guys that are not in the 1st round or the 2nd round, they could be good. So you never really know. This could be a high 3rd-round pick for us. So I think we're going to go with this one. And let's just see if they're going to accept. And they will. Okay, so now Lucas Ibiza is a member of the Colorado Avalanche, and we get a 3rd-round pick from them. So I'm just going to best roster the roster, and we'll see what happens. So there he is. Shea Theodore is now on the team. Colin Miller, of course, is the healthy scratch. I want to give Theodore some playing time, so I'm actually going to put him on that first unit with Jason Garrison. Get to learn from that vet, I guess. I don't know. I don't really think that stuff applies in the video game, but put him on that first unit. And I want to give John Merrill the left side on the 2nd pairing, and we're going to play him with Brady McNabb. And then that leaves the 3rd pairing of Nate Schmidt and Derek Englund. I also want to give Theodore some playing time on the... Okay, well, there he is, on the power play. And I'm going to adjust the power play and all the special teams. I'm going to come right back, and I'll show you what I've done. So here's what the power play lines are looking like. I didn't really do too many changes. Of course, let me know if there's anything I should do, anything I should change going forward. So yeah, please let me know in the comments. Here's what the 4-man power play is looking like, the penalty kill, and the 3-man PK. To fill out the roster, of course, we got Marc-Andre Fleury in net, Calvin Pickard backing him up, and as I've mentioned for the 1000th time now, Colin Miller as our healthy scratch. So here's what the AHL team's looking like. For some reason, Derek Roy signed with us, so I don't really know. He was just here when I got here, but I don't mind that. He's a guy we can call up during the year if we have any injuries, but again, I'm not really complaining. There were a couple of guys that were scratched that I wanted to make sure I got in the lineup. The first one was Keegan Kolesar. He's a 20-year-old power forward with medium bottom 6 potential. Not the greatest of potentials, but you never know. He could really help us out. He could help us out in some capacity in the future, so I wanted to make sure I got him in there, so I got him on the 3rd line. And on defense, it was this man, Eric Brandstrom, I'm assuming. 18-year-old offensive defenseman with medium top 4 potential. He was actually one of our 1st-round picks in this year's draft, so I make sure to get him in there. I'm going to probably move him up to the 2nd pairing, and I've also given him top power play minutes as well on the regular power play and on the 4-man power play if it occurs, so that is what we'll be doing in the AHL. I've also got David Clarkson on the 4th line. I think he's also the captain. I don't know. When you best line, they just give him the captaincy, so it is what it is. In the cage, we have Oscar Dance and Maxime Legacy, I'm assuming. and then here is our bench. So it is what it is. So, yeah. So I was looking at our captains, and we have a few guys already listed as assistant captains for some reason, but I think I'm just going to leave that. And I'm also just going to leave us without a captain for now because it's an expansion team, and we're probably going to be moving a lot of guys, and this roster is going to change a lot over the next few years, so I'm just going to leave us without a captain for now. But we now open up the regular season against the Dallas Stars. Again, I have no real expectations for this team. Just go out and see what happens, but should be very, very exciting to see what happens in our first year. Actually, our AHL team is already 2-0, so that's a good sign, I guess. So in the next video, we're going to be starting the simulation of the regular season. We're going to probably sim either up until the beginning of December or the beginning of January. I haven't made a decision just yet, but that's roughly where we're going to be ending the simulation in the next video. So, I hope you guys enjoyed the very first episode of our franchise mode with the Vegas Golden Knights. Should be a very interesting first season in Vegas. Also, please let me know if there's any changes I should make to the roster, any line changes I should make in the comments below. And also, I haven't plugged this yet, but we do put this in the description of every video, and it's in our channel somewhere. Follow us on Twitter if you guys want to get into the conversation. You can follow us on Twitter at ONTGames. So yeah, that's all I got to say. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.